It began with the forging of the great dice. 3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings. 7 to the dwarf lords, great dice makers and craftsmen of the mountain halls. And 9 dice were gifted to the race of men who above all else desire critical hits, but they were all of them deceived. Deep in the house of Rybonator, in the resin of Mount Awesome, the dice goblin Rybonator forged a master die, and into this die he poured his creativity, his puns, and his will to make horrible rip-off introductions. 1 die to roll them all, 1 die to cock them, 1 die to skew them all, and in the darkness be unable to read their numbers.
Ha 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 ha. Every single time.
Today we're going to be making diorama dice, or dice with miniatures or scenes inside them, using this mold sent to me by T2Can, who makes these really awesome ship-in-a-bottle dice. I wanted to test out this new mold by experimenting with the Lord of the Rings scene using Samwise Gamgee, the best boy, but if you really want to know how to make a ship-in-a-bottle dice like that, I can definitely do that in another video. So what's so special about this mold that Lauren sent me? Honestly, you could do everything that we do in this video with a cap mold. This one is just made to create scenes more easily. Because it's cut in half instead of just one hole on the top, you can access the inside and do stuff to everything on the center far more easily than you could with a regular cap mold. It's got tons of different registration and pip marks so that both halves align very easily, and then it has 2 sprues, one where resin actually gets poured in, which is quite large, and then 1 air hole, which will allow the resin to fill up into the mold without causing any bubbles or gaps. This isn't like an advertisement for the mold, but since I'm not making the mold in this video, if I don't explain it, there might be some people who are confused at what's going on. Onto the actual making of the dice, I'm going to mix some Woodland Scenics blended turf with Envirotech's light resin to create the floor of the scene, because I want Samwise Gamgee to look like he's on a forest or shire floor. The mold holds about 40 milliliters of resin, so I'm only going to need about 10 or 15 milliliters for the grassy floor. I use a couple what would be the equivalent of teaspoons of blended turf when I mix this stuff up, because I don't want any parts that I can see through, otherwise it won't look like a grassy ground. You can fill this up as much as you want. I'm going to fill up half of this mold, which should equal to about 1/4 of the overall dice's volume. Any bigger than that and it's just going to be a grassy scene. Now there's some bubbles that might float up to the surface. You can pop a lot of those with a lighter before you move on to putting this in the pressure pot and letting this cure fully. Around 40 psi for 12 hours should do, though you probably don't even need a pressure pot for this stage. When I was deciding on something small enough to fit into this mold for creating the scene, I couldn't think of anything more small than a hobbit, so I have this extra Samwise Gamgee mini from an old Lord of the Rings HeroClix style game, and he's pre-painted and he is ready to go. After a bit of waiting, the resin was ready within the mold, and Sam actually happens to be the exact height needed to set on top of this little grassy plane here to not cause any issues in the mold. It's almost like this Lord of the Rings die had a will of its own, that it wanted to be made. You could probably use resin to set him on top of the scene, but I just used some super glue and some accelerator. Sam stands up fine on his own, and now it's time to add some depth and color to his flooring. You can kind of simulate bushes by taking tree terrain, these I got at Michael's, and placing them on the ground. That way I can have some green, red, and yellow bushes by his feet. Then I wanted the ground to look a little less flat and more realistic, so I put some super glue down and added some blended turf on top of that to create more uneven terrain. Don't worry if you get a ton of extra turf in there, you can always wipe that out with a painter's brush. I wanted to create some extra color on the top of the grass, so I take some chalk from the dollar section of Target and grind it up in a mortar and pestle. Now this is kind of mimicking those pastel pigments that a lot of people use when they make models to create an almost dirt-like trail. I just don't want to pay for those, and chalk does good enough for me. I put some on Sam's cloak and all over the grass, and then with a swift little puff of wind from my breath, most of it goes away and leaves me a decent looking dirt on the top. So I realized when I measured Sam fitting perfectly inside this die mold, I actually measured his frying pan on the other side of it, and now the frying pan touches right on the 0 for the 20, which I planned to make look like the ring, so now the ring's gonna have a dent in it. Who knew Samwise Gamgee's frying pan could have just destroyed the ring the whole time? After I wiped out the inside of the mold, it was finally time to join the two halves. It's super easy to align them up because of all the registration and pip marks, and then I'm going to tape all the way around it. You don't want to use rubber bands or something that could compress it, it because then you'll get a deformed die. And normally I would use painter's tape, but I just didn't have any, so I wanted to wing it with Scotch tape, and it seems to have no problems. After making sure my mold was all sealed up, it was time for round 2 with resin, this time making far more than I need because I'm not sure how much resin the sprue can handle, and I'm going to add some liquid glitter in there. I regret doing this, and I will show you why in just a minute. One, I had a clog, and so glitter went everywhere, and a lot of extra went into my resin that I did not notice as I was making this, and now I have a lot of glitter to clean up. 2, I added extra glitter because, again, I did not notice that first bit of glitter in there, so there's a ton of glitter in this resin, and you'll see why that's a problem. I'm going to go ahead and fill up the mold. You can see the air hole and the larger sprue hole here. I'm going to pour the resin into the sprue hole. Because of the air hole, it will allow the resin to fall down into the mold very easily. You can see this kind of time lapse here. There's tons of bubbles inside this mold, but we have a lot of extra resin. So if we put it into the pressure pot, those bubbles will go away and the rest of the resin will sink down into the mold. After 24 hours, we can demold this thing and bada bing, bada boom, we have our scenic die. But you might notice he's a little bit sparkly, and because he's so sparkly, it's actually kind of hard to see the scene on the inside. I'll show you what I mean more here in a minute, but for now, let's go ahead and break the flashing off. Use an X-Acto knife to cut off any of the extra flashing that you have before moving on to sanding to make sure that all of the faces are even and super smooth and super glassy shiny. I use Zona papers for my sanding to get me a glass-like polish. You can see here, even the lowest grit of Zona papers gets you something good, but I'm going to polish it to a super shine, and now we can see everything on the inside. But can we? Because there's so much glitter in this die, you actually have a really hard time seeing all the details on the inside of it. And actually, I think I went for too small a details. You should go for just a few things at a time. But either way, I'm going to push forward because we're going to ink it and paint the numbers. For all of the sky parts, I'm going to use Citadel's Blue Horror. For everything that looks like it's touching the ground, I'm going to use Talaran Sand, even mixing some of those. And then for the Eye of Sauron, the 1, the critical failure, I'm using Corn Red. And anything that looks like a 0 or a ring, I'm using Retributor Armor Gold to forge my 1 ring. This is actually my favorite detail on this die here because it looks like the 1 ring, even though this one looks a little dented from where Sam hit it with his frying pan. The ultimate fighter, the ultimate killer of Sauron's 1 ring, Samwise is. But hey, live and learn. I think that there's probably a reason when looking at the ship in the bottle die here, you can actually notice there's glitter only in the watery part of the ship, but nothing up top, so that it's just crystal clear for you to be able to see the ship. But hey, I learned for next time. In the next diorama I make, I just won't do that. You can see the bottom here where there's no glitter. You can see the Eye of Sauron really easily, and luckily enough, because there's the 1 ring on the 20 here, it should automatically roll a critical hit every single time, right? Either way, I'm still happy with this Sam and Frodo dice, and of course Frodo's in there. You just can't see him because he's invisible. Thank you so much for putting up with me, and know that there will be a round 2 for this diorama or scene style dice, knowing what I know now. I just want to know what you think I should make a scene of. Do you want me to try and recreate the ship in a bottle because that looks really awesome, or would you prefer I do something entirely new? So let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see some more videos like this in the future. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. That's totally fine too. And I hope that you all have a fantastic day.